Hello, everybody. How are you? I miss you so much. Today, we are going to be reading one of my favorite books from when I was a kid, and it's probably one you've heard before. It's probably one your parents have heard, maybe even your grandparents, but it is an absolute classic, Corduroy, and the words and illustrations are by this man, Don Freeman. This book was originally published in 1968, though it has had several publications since then and it is still in production. A really amazing thing that I love about Don Freeman is that all of the sales, all of the money that he made off of Corduroy or off of Corduroy royalties or off the sales of Corduroy bears, all went to support a charity that he set up to help kids who have cancer. And I think that that's a really awesome and phenomenal thing to do. If you're going to listen to this one with me, I recommend finding your favorite teddy bear if you've got one. This is Hestia. She was my mascot when I was president of the Junior Classical League in high school, and Hestia was my favorite Roman god, so I named her after that. And in addition to having your bear with you, I wanted to share that Corduroy has a lot of different interpretations that you can take from it. But what I love about Corduroy is at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's about a bear who thinks he's imperfect and goes to try and find something to make himself perfect, only to discover that he was a complete and perfect bear all on his own. So, without further ado, let us read Corduroy. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in a toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofa, and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once, he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw two fuzzy brown ears peeking up from under the covers. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night, I counted what I'd saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight into her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a small girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. The end. All right, everyone, that was Corduroy, a really awesome and very sweet book. As usual, there are activities that you can press down in the comments or in the description if you want something to do related to Corduroy. I hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. Tomorrow, we read Harry Potter, and I'll see you then. Bye!